How y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of Heated Sports Podcast. Today we got
Jamie Nunez,
Aaron Garcia,
Ricky Hernandez,
and my name is Reza Cardenas. So how are we doing this today? What's the hot topics today?
Well, first and foremost, I want to touch on some disrespect that was discussed about with our Miami Heat team. So, it's preseason time and regular season basketball is starting to ramp up, starting to tip off. And there was a bunch of surveys that were put out that NBA general managers answered. And basically, it was about a bunch of different topics, basketball related, such as which team will be most improved in the upcoming season. What was the most surprising move in the offseason? For example, 43% of votes was Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard.
True.
And among these survey questions, one of them was, who is the best defender? Who is the best defensive player in the NBA? Okay?
Kawhi Leonard. All respectfulness.
Right. Yeah. When he's available, right?
Exactly.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just read off who these GMs voted.
I haven't seen this actually, so I'm interested.
Oh my gosh, the disrespect.
I saw a little bit. I saw it was pretty bad. So
Yeah, pretty bad. All right, so I'm just gonna read the question, and the question is, who is the best defensive player in the NBA? Number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo. No objection. It's not. It's okay. Number 2, Drew Holiday. Okay. I'm not too mad at Drew Holiday. Okay, that's one thing.
I think he deserves his flowers because he's a pretty underrated perimeter.
He deserves his 100%. He's been the best perimeter defender for years, X amount of years. So, but we'll get everyone's feedback after I go over the who's in here. So that's 1 and 2. Tied for number 3, Draymond Green. Tied for number 3 again with Draymond Green is Marcus Smart.
Okay.
Now a Memphis Grizzly. Tied number 4, Jaren Jackson Jr. Okay. Tied with Jaren Jackson, Kawhi Leonard, your guy Reza.
Yeah. Okay.
Also receiving votes. This is quote unquote honorable mentions, if you want to say. So this is outside the top 4 or top 5 in this case, because a lot of people were tied. Alex Caruso, Anthony Davis, Lou Dort.
Who's that?
Rudy Gobert. Okay. So I want to add, and then this is why I say the disrespect is real, and I wanted to address this first thing on the show. Who do you guys think is missing, and how do you feel about this list?
Washed. It's botched. All respectfulness, how you have a no-name player that I don't know over Kawhi Leonard. I know Kawhi Leonard don't even perform that much because he'd be injured and all that stuff, but still, can't disrespect Kawhi Leonard. All the defense he played in the Spurs against the Heat in that division, so it's unbelievable that he's so ranked low.
Yeah, so I think that putting Anthony Davis in the honorable mentions is pretty crazy. He's arguably number 1 for me. I know, kind of like Kawhi Leonard, he's injured a lot of the time, but this past season we saw him go against Jaren Jackson Jr., the defensive player of the year, and he outplayed him nasty. And then not even talking about Bam Adebayo, that's a top 5, no question to me. He can guard big men, he can guard perimeter players. I've seen him guard Stephen Curry in the perimeter and not get toasted.
Clamp.
So not even, and Rudy Gobert, that's the guy who was getting exposed in the playoffs over and over again. You can't tell me that he's better at defense than Bam Adebayo at all.
I agree. How about you?
Yeah, so I pretty much agree with everything Abram said. Having Caruso and Anthony Davis in the same tier of defender, and then that's that doesn't make any sense to me. And obviously, the disrespect to Bam is crazy. But something I noticed when I was doing my research for the podcast, I try to watch Undisputed, ESPN. People hate talking about Miami. People hate giving Miami their flowers. You go watch Undisputed, they're not going to talk about the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins are 5-1 right now for the first time since 2002.
Damn.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The disrespect for Miami's crazy.
Yeah, it's all over. It doesn't stop with just the Heat, right? It's also the Dolphins, right? And the disrespect is just they don't even care. For example, who is the best interior defender in the NBA? Jaren Jackson, Rudy Gobert, Brook Lopez, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, Giannis, Evan Mobley, right? Bam is nowhere near here.
Yeah.
Who is the most
disrespect is blatant.
And then this is where they kind of got it right, okay? Kinda. who is the most versatile defender in the NBA? Giannis at 1, Draymond at 2, and then Bam Adebayo at 3. I think that guy needs to be number 1. And for best defender, I mean, I don't get it. And another thing I wanted to touch on, right? Best coaches. They were asked who are the best coach, who the best coach in the NBA is, and 73% of GMs across the league said Eric Spoelstra, which is great. Okay. But I have a problem with this right here. Eric Spoelstra was also number 1 in polls with NBA general managers in the best head coach for, who can motivate and manage a team, a motivator of people. He was also number 1 in best in-game adjustments. Okay, so he was number 1 in that, number one in best manager and motivator of people, also best coach in the NBA. You know what they did not rank him number 1 in is who runs the best defense. Who runs the best defensive schemes?
Who'd they rank?
Yeah.
Oh, I read that wrong. It was offense. Sorry.
Best offense. Yeah, because our defense, his defense is.
Yeah, no, I read that
crafty.
wrong. My mistake. They have Mike Brown number 1 at for offense. Yeah, the Kings, which is fair. They had a great regular season.
Yeah,
but it just it really blows my mind how like they're just disrespecting Bam, and it's crazy how now he's entering the prime. But any last thoughts on the survey polls before we move on?
I mean, I wanted to touch on what you said, that first take, undisputed, they do not like talking about the Heat. I remember last year when the Heat were up 3-0 in the Celtics, I would hear more people talking about
the
are
Warriors.
the Celtics going to come back. When the Heat are literally about to make it to the finals, everybody was hoping the Celtics would make it. Like you said, I don't know why. Same thing with the Dolphins. The Dolphins literally scored a record-breaking 70 points. But people are talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift that same day.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, and the preseason wraps up. I know Tyler Hero did drop 30 points in the last outing. Very depleted right now. A lot of veterans are resting, which is very reasonable. Do you think anyone else think here that Tyler can average 26 points per game? He just put up 30.
For sure.
Easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially with his usage is going to go up.
He's got to get his confidence.
My one gripe so far, preseason, like 7 Jovic minutes.
Yeah, we haven't seen him
over 4 games. Like
I believe he's a little bit banged up. I believe he's a little bit banged up. So is Jaime. I believe
he's
is also
playing FIBA, so it makes sense. He's been tired.
Okay. Yeah.
And moving on, right? We can go ahead and touch on something very briefly regarding the Miami Marlins, and that is losing our general manager, Kim Ang. Very unfortunate circumstance. We did offer her a new contract. However, it was only 1 year, I believe. So that that didn't tickle her fancy. We did also want to hire someone else above her, which was a no-no in her eyes because of the whole Derek Jeter fiasco, and she didn't have as much control as she, in that situation during that time of the Marlins. And yeah, what are you guys' thoughts really quick? I just wanted to bring that up. That's pretty much the biggest news for the Marlins as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, I respect her for not taking that contract. Business is business, and you have to do what's right for you. Like, you'd like to stay loyal to your team, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
and she did great stuff for us. She was a great general manager. So
I was gonna
it sucks
say,
to see her go.
At the end of the day, it's a business, and a lot of people get mad at like a manager or like a player for not being loyal to a team when the team is not loyal to them. Mm-hmm. So like he was saying, I agree. She felt like she got done dirty and had to move on. I understand.
Business is business, man. You gotta move on for real.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to touch on that really quickly with the Miami Marlins. It is hockey season now, guys. So NHL season is undergoing. The Ice Cats are going up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I wanted to know your guys' thoughts. But me personally, I was not, into hockey at all until we beat Boston, which was, according to the numbers and statistics, the best NHL team to ever play hockey.
Yep.
And the Florida Panthers were down 3-1, and we managed to win the series 4-3. And ever since then, I became like a huge Panthers fan. So were you guys big in hockey before that, or did that did this playoff run get you into hockey?
I would say 2 years ago I've been on hockey. So seeing the Panthers really struggling to even make it to the playoffs like 8th seed and then at least beating the another 3 teams after that and going to the finals. Like some miracle type of thing that happened there. Comebacks 3-1 like you said earlier.
Yeah, that was crazy time because the Heat and the Cats were all in the finals.
Put it on Miami for real.
That was awesome. And as underdogs, like as the worst team, it was pretty cool. But what do you think, Ricky?
Same for me. I think like 2 years ago, because we had a record-breaking season. I think the season before this one, where we had a super good regular season.
Right.
That's when I started kind of getting into it. Then the playoffs were a little disappointing. This year's playoffs were insane. And watching that in tandem with the Heat's playoff run, like that was like a crazy,
seeing like
crazy summer
McDaniel
for sports.
Yeah, totally. Seeing
sports.
McDaniel like at the games, like beating the drum for the Panthers, that was sick. Like that, like hyped up everyone too. You know,
like as someone who didn't really watch hockey, like you had to be there to watch. Like
facts.
Yeah, I you guys have me feeling like I missed out because I've never really been a big hockey fan. I did hear about it. I did hear about the run that they went on, and even if I'm not keeping up with them, anything Miami, I was gonna support. So I was happy for them. But hearing us talk about it and other people have told me that it's actually very fun to watch, I might have to start giving it a chance.
Yeah, think about like the worst like Heat team, like I don't know, like with James Johnson, like Kelly Olynyk, right? Going up against KD's Warriors, right? Or not even that, like the best record. Remember the Warriors when they beat the Bulls record for the most wins?
73-9.
That's like us beating them, but like in the same conference. Like that's basically the same thing. Because bro, and for the Bruins, for the Boston Bruins in NHL last season, they had the most points ever in NHL history. Hockey's been around for I can't even tell you. You know what I mean? And like we beat them. That was super cool. Maybe this is your first year that you're into hockey. Who knows?
Maybe,
yeah. But yeah, the Florida Panthers are going up against the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow.
Yeah,
and you'll be there, right, Reza?
Yeah, I'll be out there.
Nice. Yeah, be sure to check out the post of the arena, the Florida Live Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're gonna be posting some stories on Heated SoFlo on Instagram. Be sure to check that out. And moving on to the Miami Dolphins. So, Ricky, I know you were at the game as well.
Yes, sir.
I was at the game as well. Did any of you guys catch the game as well?
Yeah, I watched it.
Abram and
Nah,
Reza?
I didn't get a chance to watch it, sadly.
Well, we were down 14-0 at one point, and the team was 0-5, in the first quarter. The first quarter, the score was 0-14. Dolphins are down.
Spooky start.
Ricky, were you a little shaken up? Like, were you a little?
I wasn't worried.
You weren't worried at all, huh?
I wasn't worried. But
that makes two of us.
It was a slightly spooky start, but I wasn't worried. And then once the second half started, we locked in.
I kind of enjoyed it more that way because if it was just a blowout from the start, I'd be like, then people start thinking about like when they're leaving and stuff, like traffic and stuff. And it's like, wait, we're down. Like,
and we don't want to get into the traffic. So.
Yeah. And it's like, wait, we're down 14. We're down 2 scores. Like, it wasn't like 2 field goals. It was like 2 touchdowns. Like,
I'm pretty sure in the second half we did not allow a single point. So
yeah,
it was a pretty solid comeback.
My uncle actually called like the bomb to Tyreek Hill. He was like, look, watch this bomb to Tyreek. And we were like, okay.
One of my friends called it too.
And then boom. Yeah. I was like, whoa, that was crazy. But now the Dolphins are heading into Philadelphia to go up against another 5-1 team in the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and the boys are looking to take down the Miami Dolphins after losing in dramatic fashion to the New York Jets, to the New York Football Jets, the AFC East rivals of the Miami Dolphins. Did anyone catch that game by any chance? Because I saw, like, when I came home after the game, it was like the third quarter pretty much. So, like, I watched that onward. And I just kept watching Jalen Hurts like fold, throw picks, and I was like, wow.
I'll just say that after the Dolphins game, I was incapacitated and unable to watch any more football for the rest of the day.
But I watched the 49ers one. That was a heartbreaker.
That was crazy.
Yeah, when they got to the field goal, I'm like, oh, they're going to be able to win. And when he missed it, I was like, dang. Because I was actually able to watch the Dolphins game and that one at Twin Peaks.
Nice.
So it was fire. I had a lot of Dolphins fans around me. And then
shout out Twin Peaks.
Even after the game, I had some people that stayed to watch the 49ers game to see if they're going to win.
Yeah.
So it was just cool.
That's crazy. Dolphin fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know why? It's because the 1972 Miami Dolphins team that won every regular season game and won every playoff game and won the Super Bowl, the perfect team, the only perfect team in the NFL history, they can celebrate once again for another year because the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles both lost, losing their perfect record, both to backup quarterbacks, which I thought was very interesting because there was a lot of people, a lot of experts out there in the NFL world saying, hey, when push comes to shove, if the Dolphins meet the Niners or the Eagles in the Super Bowl, in the big game, that they probably won't have what it takes. And those two teams just lost to backups. I understand there was injuries on the Niners side. I understand. Really no excuse for the Eagles, but yeah, like, you know, hey, maybe next year you get perfect, but never be the Dolphins, you know.
And we got to enjoy that mention because they're not going to talk about the Dolphins for another 3 weeks. So,
Well, wait, really quick, who do you guys got winning this Sunday? It's gonna be on Sunday Night Football, 8:00 prime time. You can't miss it. Who do you guys got?
Dolphins spread.
we got to root for the Dolphins. Come on.
Of course.
Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna say Dolphins.
Yeah, no,
you got to put good energy into the world for it to come back. You know,
definitely.
right? No,
I can never root against my team.
never, ever, even in fantasy.
Oh well, I don't play fantasy
Do-
football.
do you
I
know-
play fantasy basketball, but that is
Ricky, it was a different. It hit
That's a
different. It hit different when I had Tyreek and Tua in the same league, and then he threw it to Hill, like on the, you know,
Yeah,
that was pretty.
What is technology doing to America, bro? It's got us rooting against our own team.
No, well, that does it for this episode of what's it? Heated Sports Pod. I'm Jamie Nunez.
I'm Reza Cardenas.
Ricky Hernandez, and I just want to say, rest in peace, Inter Miami.
Rest in
Facts.
peace, Inter
Wow.
Miami. That's one thing we should have talked about.
What happened?
Nah, it's
No, they lost. Oh, damn, we should have probably mentioned that. Okay, really quick.
we can still talk about.
Yeah,
it.
really quick. So before we go, there's some unfortunate news. It's looking like, well, not this looking like. Inter Miami is out of the playoffs.
What?
Cue the sad music.
That's crazy.
Another heart-wrenching thing that really is part of the dagger in all this is that Messi, he might not come back to Miami. What do you guys think about that?
That's crazy.
He
But
might
why?
he might go back to Barcelona,
Wow.
or he might just go to the Middle East.
Like, how you come to Miami, become a Miami Jet, and then you just
Bro, that
chain
Apple TV, man, Apple TV deal was crazy. They paid him stock. Have you seen the movie Air with Jordan?
Air? Nah.
Bro, okay, well, basically it's a story about like how like Jordan and Nike got paid.
True.
It's because the mom was like, we want to give him, we don't want money, we want percentages of the company, like of the sales, and then they were like, okay, bet. So they gave Messi like a
That
stake
same-
of Apple, bro, like of Apple TV.
What?
Yes. But anyways, that's what is been rumored to been happening. What do you guys think of that? I think Messi, if he were to leave, you know, he changed the culture of soccer in South Florida, in America for that fact, and I think we'll be good. Obviously, it'd be great to have the GOAT,
Of course.
but yeah, I actually saw him play last night against Peru. I'm Peruvian, and Argentina. Yeah, we lost 2-0 to Argentina, and you know, Messi played. And he made all the goals. And that was very sad for me and my country. But sorry, Abram, what were you going to say?
I mean, I was just gonna say that even though it does suck, like you were saying, we should be thankful that he even came.
100%.
He didn't need to come, but he still did, and he brought a lot of hype to soccer in Miami. And we had the conversation, like I'm pretty sure last podcast, if we believe that soccer is gonna continue being a thing, and if it does, it's gonna be greatly thanks to him. So shout out to Messi for putting.
Shout
up
out to Messi. What do you think, Reza?
Shout out Messi regardless, though. But I feel like after Messi leaves, it's going to open up the market for even more players to even want to come to Miami, too. So might be a little win in the
I agree.
in the end.
Yeah, to MLS and Miami. Yeah, for
True.
sure.
Yeah, same thing. I think it like opened a lot of doors for the MLS, and I hope it continues. I hope soccer can be big in the United States one day, as big as it is overseas. But what would be crazy if he does go to Saudi, what does that mean for like European soccer? Because
That's a good
so
point.
many players are going to Saudi now.
That's a great point. I did hear that we did have an Inter Miami player. He actually is playing for Team USA. I forget his name, but yeah, shout out to him and playing for Team USA, and he's from Inter Miami. That's a real one right there. Much love. But Reza, would you like to wrap us up?
So we got to go, guys. Well, thank you for watching another Heated Sports podcast. And we out.
See ya.
Peace.